Right. So now uh, we have an idea right now. We have an idea what we mean by learning difficulties or learning disabilities, and we have we know the main three SLDs we have touched upon: dyslexia, dysgraphia, and dyscalculia. So we went through the core characteristics of each learning disability, and we touched upon a little things like what teachers can do from our side if we identify students like this, what strategies we can use in order to support them. So now we'll, as a whole, let's touch upon what we can do and what treatments and supports we have. So treatment and support for SLD. First, one of the really important thing is early identification. So what can we do about that? So important thing is teacher awareness. So as teachers, as educators, we should be aware. These are the characteristics, right? These are the characteristics they show. So if we can identify at a younger age, early identification is really important. Then there is a process where we can put to the authorities and all that. Then there will be a positive outcome and a positive impact when they grow up. So early identification is really important. Right. So this identification and assessment, I actually wanted to talk to you all to gain some insights. Unfortunately, in Sri Lankan schools, I don't know that this is happening. And even in international schools, it's very few. So what properly happens in abroad countries is we are teachers, no? As teachers, that's why I told we can't label them. So maybe certain characteristics keep on happening for a long time. That doesn't mean we can label the kid as dyslexic and keep on talking about this in the staff room or anything. No. So suppose this actually happens. So usually what we are supposed to do is, there are school counselors, right? So we need to inform the school counselors, and then there's another process. Even the counselors can't get involved without proper parental consent and all that. So there's a proper process for that. So suppose all that happened, and suppose a counselor got into this. So counselor need to do an assessment, right? So once counselor observes, and once the counselor or the psychologist does the assessment, and if they diagnosis, then there is a written documents and all that they need to properly sign and tell, okay, these are the issues and all that. So only they can diagnose it, we can't do that. So then after proper formal assessments, then there are things they can do, like support teaching, remedial teaching, and where cases are then therapy sessions, and where cases are really severe, they might go to certain medications. But that's why early identification is important, so that it will be done as a proper positive impact on the children. Then as teachers, what we can do, individualized education plan. So we always say individual differences. So this, for an inclusive classroom, we need to have a proper educational plan as well, so that we can tailor our customize our lesson plans and education lesson plans and our teacher strategies and teaching methods. If you can customize this in order to cater everyone, right, then I think that will be a fulfilled inclusive classroom. Remedial instruction tutoring, this is very important. So certain students who are having difficulties, if in a class there might be around 25 to 30 students, that's not going to help them. So once identified, remedial measures have to be taken one-on-one. That is really important. If they have writing issues, then one-on-one you need to give individual attention and give them time and ask them to get there slowly, then only they can improve. If they have mathematical issues, individual attention should be given. Then you can you can use visual aids and help them to add, subtract, little by little, progressively they can improve. So support can be, so that's another way of supporting them: remedial instruction and tutoring. So when we are giving individual attention rather than groups, then only we can give them, methods like rehearsing, repetitive drills, reviewing drills, specialized teaching strategies. So specialized as in, we need to be able to use different visual aids, maybe use of IT, and you, or not only that, hands-on activities where we have learned that there are different types of learners: kinesthetic learners, auditory, visually. So in order to cater all of them, if we can use good number of teaching resources as well, it will be we will be able to get their attention and at least boost up their confidence. So that will be a little helpful. And huge, rather than giving huge tasks, give manageable small tasks. Use technology, and use these assistive technologies, the technology, like recorder or audio readers, things like that. And if people like students who have issues with handwriting, dysgraphia, we can allow them to type, right? So maybe they are creative, maybe they are really creative, maybe they are creative writers, right? So just because they have dysgraphia, if we are going to it will be unfair if they are neglected, right? So ask them to type it. So we can do something like that. Now earlier we saw Agatha Christie, one of the very well known mystery writers. She used to she says that she used to have dysgraphia, right? But she didn't stop writing. Classroom accommodation. So accommodate all types of learners. That is really important, right? That is where we can use different types of assessments and tests, and give alternative assessments. So every time it need not be written, right? If they are not good at writing, you can give them oral presentations. They must be really good at speaking. Their verbal and non-verbal communications might be really good than literacy and numeracy. So we can use we can accommodate them with other alternative things. Counseling and emotional support. So sometimes they are frustrated, they are stressed, so emotional support is needed, because otherwise if they feel down emotionally also, obviously they can't do anything academically. So reinforce them. Proper support, proper emotional support should be given. Boost their self-confidence, self-esteem. That's really important. And of course parental involvement and training. That's the other issue with our Sri Lankan system. One issue is, if kids are being identified like this, some parents, not all parents, some parents are reluctant to accept this. So at the end of the day, for the sake of the children, it's really important to be aware. First you need to be aware, even the parents need to be aware now, because sometimes before teachers, parents might be able to identify certain symptoms, certain characteristics. So parental awareness is important, and training is important. The other thing is, like in a school environment, if the school to be taken certain decisions with remedial support or therapy or anything, at the end parental consent is there needed. So parents have to be smart enough to, they need to accept at the end of the day, if for the sake of their children, if they really want to help them, rather than denying it, rather than living with denial. No, there's nothing wrong with my kid. Of course there's nothing wrong with the children. No, nothing. Just because you are dyslexic, that doesn't mean anything, something is wrong with you. Just because you are not good at basic maths concept, just because you have dyscalculia, doesn't mean there's something is wrong with the child. No, true. But as parents, they need to accept, okay, there is a learning difficulty, so we need to give them some remedial help, or maybe need some extra support. So parents have to be involved all times. Collaboration among professionals. So that's what I wanted to know. Like in Sri Lankan schools, this is not happening, but if you look at abroad schools,